This vaccine is the panic cause you collapse during the 7-ship game by service agents. Like, so the link to the video will be the description below. Go and check them out. So let's into this vaccine in 3, 2, 1.
Coach Ryan Mitchell blew his whistle and watched his players run drills on the muddy field. His
Yeah.
baggy coaching jacket hid what no one on the team could see. He was 6 months pregnant, and tonight was the state championship game, the biggest night of his coaching career.
6 months pregnant.
If anyone found out his secret now, everything he'd built would fall apart. Ryan Mitchell was 33 years old and head coach of the Lincoln High School Lions football team. For the past 5 years, he'd built the program from nothing. When he started, the team had a losing record and barely enough players to fill
a losing record. That's a good
roster. Now, they were undefeated and heading to the state championship.
Wow.
Ryan lived and breathed.
That means from losing streak to undefeated. Wow. That's a big tournament.
Football.
Literally.
He was the first one on the field every morning and the last one to leave at night. He studied game footage until midnight. He knew every player's strengths, weaknesses, and personal struggles. The team wasn't just his job, they were his family. Everyone in the small Texas town respected Coach Mitchell. He was tough, but fair. He pushed his players hard, but never broke them. Parents trusted him with their sons. The principal called him the best hire
Yep, that's a baby bump. Yep.
The school had ever made. Ryan's personal life was private. He lived alone in a small house near the school. He didn't date much. He kept to himself. People respected that. In small-town Texas, folks didn't pry into other people's business.
Small-town Texas, let's go.
What nobody knew was that Ryan was transgender. He'd transitioned 10 years ago, before moving to this town. His legal documents were changed. His body looked like any other man's. Nobody questioned it. Nobody suspected. And nobody knew about Marcus. Marcus Webb was the assistant coach at a rival school 2 towns over. Ryan had met him at a coaching conference 3 years ago. They'd connected over strategy discussions and late-night conversations about the pressures of coaching. The relationship developed slowly. They kept it quiet, not because Ryan was ashamed, but because small-town gossip could destroy careers. 2 coaches from rival schools dating would create complications neither needed. They saw each other when they could. Weekend trips to Dallas. Late dinners after games. Stolen moments between their demanding schedules. Last spring, during a week-long coaching seminar in Austin, things became more serious. They spent every evening together. On the last night, in Marcus's hotel room, they were intimate for the first time. Neither thought about protection. Ryan had been on testosterone for 10 years. He hadn't had a period in 9 years. Every doctor he'd seen said pregnancy was extremely unlikely. Marcus didn't know Ryan's full medical history. Ryan had never felt the need to explain. 3 months later, Ryan's world turned upside down. It started during summer training camp. Ryan felt exhausted in ways he'd never experienced. He blamed it on the Texas heat and long practice hours. Then came the nausea.
Texas heat, yeah, Texas heat is something else, ridiculous.
He'd be in the middle of practice and suddenly need to step away, fighting the urge to vomit. His assistant coach, Tom Henderson, noticed. "You okay, coach? You've been looking rough lately." "Just a stomach bug," Ryan said. "It'll pass." But it didn't pass. By August, Ryan's clothes were fitting differently. His stomach was getting rounder. His chest was tender. He told himself it was weight gain from stress eating. Then one morning, while getting dressed, Ryan felt it. A flutter in his lower abdomen. Movement. Something he couldn't explain away. His hands shook as he drove to a clinic 3 towns away, somewhere nobody would recognize him. The doctor was a middle-aged woman who listened to his symptoms and ordered tests. When she returned with the results, her face was serious. "Mr. Mitchell, you're pregnant. About 16 weeks along." The room spun. Ryan gripped the armrests of his chair. "That's impossible. I'm on testosterone. I haven't had a period in 9 years." The doctor spoke gently. "Testosterone reduces fertility, but doesn't eliminate it completely. Your body still has ovaries and a uterus. Breakthrough ovulation happened. When you were intimate without protection, conception occurred. The pregnancy has been developing normally. Ryan thought back to Austin, to Marcus, to that week 4 months ago. What are my options? At 16 weeks, termination is still possible, but more complicated. Or you can continue the pregnancy. Either way, you need to make a decision soon. Ryan left the clinic in shock. Football season was starting in 2 weeks. The team was predicted to win state. This was supposed to be his year, his moment. How could he be pregnant now? Ryan sat in his truck in an empty parking lot, staring at the ultrasound image the doctor had given him.
Yeah.
A tiny form, barely recognizable, but undeniably real. He thought about termination. It would be the logical choice. He could handle it quietly, recover during a long weekend, and be back on the field Monday. Nobody would ever know. But something stopped him. Maybe it was seeing that ultrasound. Maybe it was the
Yeah.
flutter he'd felt that morning. Maybe it was something deeper. Ryan decided to continue the pregnancy. But he also decided nobody could know. Not the team, not the school, not even Marcus. At
Really?
least not yet. Not until after the season. He had 4 months until the baby would be due. The season would be over by then. He could hide it that long.
Yeah.
He had to. Ryan became a master of disguise. He wore oversized coaching jackets and baggy sweatshirts even in the Texas heat. He stood behind
Texas
players
Heat.
during team photos. He positioned himself carefully during games, always behind the bench or at angles that hid his growing stomach. When people asked why he'd gained weight, he blamed it on stress and too much fast food. Coaching will
Too
do
much
that
fast
to
food.
you, he'd joke, patting his belly.
Could
The
be,
hardest
yeah.
part was the physical demands. Football coaching required constant movement, running
Yeah.
drills, demonstrating plays, breaking up fights between players. As Ryan's pregnancy progressed, everything became harder. By 20 weeks, he was exhausted after every practice. By 24 weeks, his back ached constantly. By 28 weeks, he could barely tie his shoes. But the team kept winning. Game after game, the Lions dominated. Ryan's strategic mind was sharper
Wow.
than ever, as if the pregnancy had somehow focused him. By
Yeah.
mid-November, they were 12-0 and heading to the state championship. Tom,
Wow.
the
That's
assistant
really cool.
coach, noticed Ryan struggling. Coach, you sure you're okay? You look like you're in pain. Just getting old, Ryan said, forcing a
Yo.
smile. My back's been acting up. Tom didn't look convinced, but he didn't push it. The state championship was scheduled for December 3rd. Ryan would be 32 weeks pregnant. His belly was huge now, impossible to hide if anyone looked closely. But he'd made it this far. One more week. One more game. On Monday before the game, Ryan felt unusual pressure in his pelvis. On Tuesday, he had sharp pains in his lower back. By Wednesday, he was having what felt like contractions, irregular, but unmistakable. He called the doctor from the clinic. I think I'm having early labor. You need to come in immediately, the doctor said. At 32 weeks, if you're in labor, we need to stop it or prepare for premature delivery. I can't. I have the biggest game of my career on Friday. Mr. Mitchell, this is serious, I know, but I need 3 more days. Just 3 days. The doctor was silent. Then, if your water breaks or contractions become regular, you go to the hospital immediately. Do you understand? I understand. Ryan didn't go to the hospital. He took the medication the doctor prescribed to slow contractions, stayed off his feet as much as possible, and prayed he'd make it to Friday night. Friday, December 3rd, state championship night. Ryan stood in the locker room, watching his players prepare. His stomach was cramping. Contractions were sporadic but present. His back ached so badly he could barely stand. But
Wow,
his
really?
mind was clear. He'd prepared for this game for months.
Yeah.
He knew exactly what his team needed to do to win. Listen up, Ryan called out, gathering the team. You've worked all season for this moment. Every
Yeah.
practice, every drill, every sacrifice. Tonight, we show everyone what the Lincoln Lions are made of.
The Lincoln
You ready?
Lions.
Yes, coach, the team shouted in unison. Ryan led them onto the field. The stadium was packed, 5,000 people screaming and cheering. Friday night lights blazed. This was Texas high school football at its finest. The game was
Texas.
brutal. Back and forth. Neither team giving an inch. Ryan paced the sideline, calling plays, making adjustments, ignoring the pain radiating through his body. At
Wow.
halftime, the score was tied 14-14. Ryan sat in the locker room, breathing through a contraction, and delivered his halftime speech. Second half. We dig deeper than we've ever dug before. We find strength we didn't know we had. We win this. Together.
We win this.
The third quarter was a war. Ryan's body was screaming at him to stop, to sit down, to get help. But he couldn't. Not now. Not when his team needed him. In the fourth quarter, with 2 minutes left and the score tied 21-21, Ryan called the play that would define the game, a trick play they'd been practicing for weeks. The quarterback took the snap, faked a handoff, and threw a perfect pass to the receiver in the end zone. Touchdown. Lions win, 28-21. The stadium erupted. Players rushed the field. Ryan was surrounded by his team, lifted
Oh, 28-21. Wow.
onto their shoulders, celebrating the greatest moment of his coaching career. Then, as the celebration peaked, Ryan felt it. His water broke. Ryan managed to get off the field and into the locker room before anyone noticed. He locked himself in the coach's office, doubled over in pain. Contractions were 3 minutes apart now. He
Uh-oh.
called Marcus. I need you. Now. Lincoln High School. Don't ask questions. Just come. Tom knocked on the door. Coach, you okay? We need you for the trophy ceremony. Give me a minute, Ryan gasped out. Tom heard the pain in his voice. Coach, I'm coming in. Before Ryan could stop him, Tom opened the door with his master key. He found Ryan leaning against the desk, his coaching jacket fallen open, his massive pregnant belly visible, his face contorted in pain. Tom's eyes went wide. Coach, are you? I'm in labor, Ryan said. I need to get to a hospital. But Tom, please, don't tell the team. Not yet. Let them have tonight. Tom was frozen for a moment. Then his coaching instincts kicked in. Okay, okay. Where's your phone? Who do I call? Marcus arrived 20 minutes later. He took one look at Ryan, and his face went pale. Ryan, what? How long have you? Explain later. Hospital now. Tom helped them out a back exit while the team was still celebrating on the field. As they drove away, Ryan looked back at the stadium, at the lights and the crowd, and the trophy his team had just won. He'd done
Yes.
it. He'd coached them to a championship. And
Yep.
nobody had known. Ryan's son, Jackson, was born at 2:47 a.m. on December 4th. 5 pounds, 8 ounces. Premature, but healthy. Marcus held Jackson and looked at Ryan with tears in his eyes.
Oh.
Why didn't you tell me? I didn't know how, Ryan admitted. And I couldn't let anything distract from the season. Ryan, I would have been there. We could have figured this out together. I
Yep.
know. I'm sorry. Over the weekend, word spread about Coach Mitchell's sudden family emergency. By Monday, rumors were flying. By Tuesday, Ryan knew he had to tell the truth. He called a
Yes.
team meeting. Standing in front of his players, the young men he'd coached to a championship, Ryan told them everything. That he was transgender, that he'd been pregnant during the entire season, that he'd given birth hours after they won state. The locker room was silent. Then Marcus Johnson, the
Wow.
team captain, stood up. Coach, you took us to state while pregnant? That's the most hardcore
Yep.
thing I've ever heard. You're still our
Literally.
coach. Nothing changes that.
Yep.
One by one, the other players stood. The applause started slowly, then grew.
Oh.
Within seconds, the entire team was on their feet, cheering for their coach. Today, Jackson is 8 months old. Ryan returned to coaching 3 months after giving birth. Marcus moved to town, and they're raising Jackson together. The team went
Oh.
11-2 the following season. Some parents pulled their kids from the team when they learned Ryan's story, but most
Oh.
stayed. The school board debated firing him, but ultimately decided his record spoke for itself. Ryan's story sparked
Yep.
conversations across Texas about transgender coaches, pregnancy discrimination, and what it means to lead while hiding a fundamental part of yourself.
True.
So here's my question for you. Should Ryan have told his team the truth from the beginning? Was it wrong to hide his pregnancy to protect his career? And what does his story tell us about the sacrifices coaches make? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if this story taught you something about determination and sacrifice, share it. Because Ryan proved that you can lead a team to victory while carrying a secret nobody would believe. He
Literally.
coached through pregnancy, delivered a baby hours after winning state,
Oh.
and showed that being a great coach has nothing to do with the body you were born with.
Yeah. But this is what matters. The truth all was as a way of coming out. So yeah, the truth all was as a way of coming out. So you told it from the beginning because it will come out later. So yeah, that was the Pentecost what you collapsed during the 76 game by series eating. The link to the video will be the description on top. So below, go and check them out. And drop a like if you like, and comment below if you want to see more reacting like this one. And subscribe if you're new and click the bell so you can be notified from me below in the post and go live in what bye. Wow.